welcome to the Chennai Cluster Final of the Cycle Heritage Quiz 2021. The cycle brand takes great pride in India's heritage and culture and has centered the company's mission and vision around the same. Hence, the cycle brand has conceptualized the Cycle Heritage Quiz with a view to enlighten young minds on the 5,000-year-old heritage of our great nation. The Cycle Heritage Quiz is an all India level quiz competition that celebrates India's rich culture and heritage. With participants spanning the length and breadth of the nation, through this quiz, participants get a chance to showcase their knowledge and passion for India's heritage. As we know, we are still dealing with the effects of the global pandemic. Hence, the Cycle Heritage Quiz is being held in a special online format. In this quiz, we have divided India into 18 different clusters, spanning the length and breadth of our great nation. After a grueling preliminary stage, where participants took part in 4 rounds with questions on the heritage of our nation as well as the heritage of their particular regions, we have our 6 finalists from each of our 18 clusters. Now we have the finals for the Chennai cluster, where we had participants from Chennai, Puducherry, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and Lakshadweep. Without further ado, let's meet our 6 cluster finalists. At participant number 1, we have Pranav A. Gautam from Padma Sheshadri Bal Bhavan, Nungambakkam. Hi, Pranav.
Hello, sir.
So, Pranav, feeling confident of your chances?
Definitely, sir. I've been attending heritage quizzes since sixth grade, and um, I have been an avid quizzer. Yeah, I attend many of quizzes in Chennai, and one of my most favorite topics to attend quizzes on is heritage in India. So, like, I've done very well in such quizzes, and mostly that's because the reason is that I love India's heritage because unlike so many countries and cultures around the world, ours is ancient. Ours is like from 6,000, 7,000, 5,000 years ago, and it's spread across the length and breadth of like from different geographical regions to different so many different places. And my favorite part of Indian culture itself is the tradition and legends of ancient India, because only if we know about the glory and the greatness of it of our past will we get that patriotic spirit and an feeling that our country is great, we should do something for it. And basically, like, my love for this subject is encapsulated by Mark Twain's quote: "India is the cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great grandmother of tradition." So yeah, that's why I like it so much.
Wonderful, Pranav. Thank you so much. I think that was a beautiful quote to actually begin our cluster final with. And all the best, Pranav, for this quiz.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we have Jayanth Kirin, who's from Sri Shankara Senior Secondary School. Hi,
Hello,
Jayanth.
sir. Hi, sir.
So, Jayanth, how do you feel about quizzing in this online avatar? I'm sure you have, done a lot of on-ground quizzes. How is
Yeah,
this different?
over the past year, it's been a new experience because when I was growing up, I was attend most of the quizzes I was attending was either in an MCQ format, which was the website quizzes, or like the actual landmark quizzes. And over the past year, this has actually been a pretty weird experience, not gonna lie. The you need to get accustomed to the new things, but it's been an exciting journey, and I I'm actually loving this. So I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, very good, Jayant. And hopefully, this online avatar is kind to you. And all the
Yeah,
best for the cluster final.
thank you.
Next, we have Dhanvi Kartikeyan from Padma Sheshadri Bal Bhavan, KK Nagar. Hello, Dhanvi.
Hi, sir.
So, Dhanvi, how were the preliminary rounds for you during the cycle heritage quiz?
They were easy. I found them really easy. I also found them quite interesting. They helped me, gain knowledge about a few aspects of history that left me untouched. And I really find history. I find history really interesting because it's the past that makes you ready for the future. I think history has taught us a lot. History is humankind's best teacher, according to me. And especially in India, we have who thought Kings would build structures that have left scientific theories in awe. We're still wondering how an 80-ton stone went up a 216-ton structure without any form of technical help. So that's how amazing India's history is, and I'm really, really honored to be here. Thank you.
Very nice, Tanvi. And yes, history is a great teacher for all of us. And all the best, Tanvi, for the cluster final of the Cycle Heritage Quiz. Next, we have Bharat Kumar C from Amanur More Pavan Higher Secondary School, Puducherry. Hi, Bharat.
Yes,
How are
sir.
you feeling about this quiz and your chances?
Yes, sir. I'm eagerly waiting for this quiz, sir. This because of my school, I get to know about this quiz.
Okay. And confident of taking on all the participants from Chennai?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all the best, Bharat. And let's welcome our fifth participant, who is Ajish Priyam from Amanor Pavan Lords Academy, Puducherry. Hi, Ajish.
Hi there.
Ajish, what was your favorite part of the preliminary stages of the Cycle Heritage Course?
That's the picture quiz, sir, because I like it very much by visual views, sir. Then it was easy for me to answer.
Okay, so you like the visual questions a lot, and have you visited a lot of the places that were shown in the visual questions?
Yes, sir, I like it very much. That was.
Okay, wonderful. All the best, Ajish. And moving on to our sixth participant, Prateek M from Padma Sheshadri Bal Bhavan, Kekinagar. Hi, Prateek.
Hi, sir.
So, Prateek, how many online quizzes have you attended in the last 1 year?
I think I lost track at 3 or 4. Not really.
Okay, you lost track at 3 or 4, and you must have attended a lot of them. And how is your feeling about the quizzing in the online avatar? Do you find it easier than on-ground quizzes? More difficult? What's your feeling about it?
It's just the same. Instead of standing up and doing something, you unmute and do something. So it's not much of a difference. Anyway, in the end, what matters is you make good guesses and you know the answer. So rather than how it is conducted, what happens, what I get to learn is what I value more than the experience of whether online or real life.
Wonderful to hear that, Prateek. And that is exactly what we aim to bring you through the Cycle Heritage Quiz. We aim to bring you the experience of an on-ground quiz through its online avatar, where it will be all up to the children's brains and knowledge to crack some very intriguing questions about our rich culture and heritage. So we are ready to start with our first round of our Chennai Cluster Final. The first round is called Laksha Bheda. In the first round, participants will have to be accurate with their answers and hit the bullseye. If you hit the bullseye at your very first attempt, you'll get the maximum number of points. So, in this round, you'll have one question per participant. This round does not pass. Each question has 4 options. Each participant gets 3 attempts. And if you crack it on your first attempt, you get plus 15. If you crack it on your second attempt, you get plus 10. If you crack the answer on your third attempt, you get plus 5. There are no negative marking in this round, and there is no negative marking in this entire quiz as well. So let's start our first round, Laksha Bheda, the first participant, Pranav. Pranav, the question coming up on screen now. On September 2nd, 1970, President V.B. Giri inaugurated a famous memorial to a great Indian. Eknath Ramakrishna Ranade was the main driving force behind the memorial. To whom was it dedicated to? Is it A. Mahatma Gandhi? Is it B. Swami Vivekananda? Is it C. Jawaharlal Nehru? Or is it D. Bhagat Singh? Question for Pranav. Pranav, what's your answer?
So I'll go with Swami Vivekananda, option
You'll
B.
go with Swami Vivekananda, option B. Let's click on option B. And absolutely correct. It is option B, Swami Vivekananda. This is the Vivekananda Rock Memorial, of course, at Kanyakumari. So well done, Pranav. You start with 15 points.
Okay.
Now it's time to move to our second participant, who is Jayanth. Jayanth, your question coming up on screen now. The Lucknow Gharana of the dance is said to have originated with Wajid Ali Shah's court dancer Thakur Prasadji. Which dance form are we talking about? Is it A. Kathak? Is it B. Nati? Is it C. Habai? Or is it D. Dhamyal? Question for Jayant.
I'll go for D, Damyal.
Okay, let's click on D. Dhamyal. That's unfortunately wrong. Your second attempt, Jayant.
Why not B, Nati?
Let's click on B. Nati. Sorry, that's wrong. You have one more attempt to go, Jayant. What's your last answer?
C, Bawai.
Let's click on C. Bhavai. Sorry, Jen, that's a wrong answer. Bad start for you. The answer, of course, is A. Kathak. Wajid Ali Shah was known for popularizing the dance form of Kathak. So, Jayant, no points for you. Let's move on to participant number 3, Thanvi from PSBB KK Nagar. Thanvi, your question coming up on screen now. Question for Thanvi. What is the official name of the island in Ritchie's archipelago that was named after Sir Henry Havelock, who once served in India? Is it A. Ross Island, B. Savarkar Island, C. Swaraj Island, or D. Willingdon Island? Yes, Gandhi.
I think it's D. Willingdon Island, sir.
Is it D. Willingdon Island? Let's click on D. Sorry, that's a wrong answer, Gandhi. You have your second attempt now.
A. Ross Island.
Let's click on A. Ross Island. Sorry, that's a wrong answer. You have one more attempt to go.
B. Savarkar Island.
Let's click on B. Savarkar Island. Sorry, that's a wrong answer once more. It is C. Swaraj Island. So bad start for you, Tanvi, as well, but lots more questions to go in the cluster final of the Cycle Heritage Quiz. I'm sure you'll catch it. Let's move on to participant number 4, Bharat. Bharat, your question coming up on your screen now. This yogic siddhi helps the sadhaka to see things or events happening at any place in all the 3 worlds. This power was used by Sanjay to explain the happenings at the Kurukshetra to Dhritarashtra. Name the siddhi. Is it A. Sudarshan? Is it B. Akshaya? Is it C. Prasad? Or is it D. Doordarshan? Question for Bharat.
Sir, option B, Akshaya.
Option B, Akshaya. Let's click on option B. Sorry, that's a wrong answer. Bharat, your second attempt.
Sir, option A, Sudarshan.
Option A is Sudarshan. Let's click on A. Sudarshan. Not Sudarshan. The last attempt, Bharat.
Option D, Doordarshan.
Option D, Doordarshan. Let's click on option D, Doordarshan. Yes, Bharat, you're right. Finally got it at your third attempt. So 5 points for you, Bharat. It is indeed the power of Doordarshan which was given to Sanjay, Dhritarashtra's charioteer, who narrated all the happenings at Kurukshetra to the king of Hastinapur. Absolutely correct, Bharat. You get 5 points. Now we'll move on to our 5th participant, and that is Ajish. Ajish, your question coming up on your screen now. In 1992, he was conferred the Bharat Ratna. And for the first time, the government sent the nation's highest civilian award by registered post to his ailing octogenarian nephew in Kolkata. Which Indian leader are we talking about? Is it A. Shama Prasad Mukherjee? Is it B. Lal Bahadur Shastri? Is it C. Morarji Desai? Or is it D. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad? Question for Ajish.
Sir, I think it is option B, Lal Bahadur Shastri.
Okay, let's see whether option B, Lal Bahadur Shastri, is correct. Sorry, that's the wrong answer. Your next attempt, Ajish.
Maulana Abul Kalam Azad.
Okay, let's click on D. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Absolutely correct, Ajish. Well done. 10 points to you. That's a decent start in the cluster final of Cycle Heritage Quiz. Next, we have our sixth participant, who is Prateek. Prateek, your question coming up on your screen now. Prateek, your question is: which work consisting of two volumes, The Omnipresent Reality and the Universe, and The Knowledge and the Ignorance, A Spiritual Evolution, first appeared serially in the magazine Arya? Is it Synthesis of Yoga, which is option A? Is it B, The Autobiography of a Yogi? Is it C, The Life Divine? Or is it D, Life's Amazing Secrets?
I think it's option B, the autobiography of a yogi.
Okay, let's click on option B, The Autobiography of a Yogi. Sorry, Pradeep, that's the wrong answer. Your next attempt, please.
The life divine, option C.
Okay, let's click on C, The Life Divine. Yes, indeed, it is The Life Divine written by Rishi Aurobindo. Absolutely correct, Pradeep. So you also get 10 points. And with that, we come to the end of round number one. So let's move ahead to our second round, which is called Jigyasa. Let's check out the rules. This round, each participant will get one direct question. This time, the questions pass in case the person to whom the question is directly thrown to cannot answer, plus 10 for every correct answer, whether on direct or on pass. This time also, we'll start off with our first participant, Pranav. Pranav, your question coming up on screen now. Question one for Pranav. He was the founder of a reform movement in 1875, which laid emphasis on the study of the Vedas and also opposed idol worship. He is believed to be the first person to use the word Swaraj in the nationalist context. Name this great Indian. Question for Pranav.
So this is Dayanand Saraswati, and the reform movement is Arya Samaj.
Pranav is on a roll. Absolutely. It is indeed Dayanand Saraswati. 10 points to you once more. And of course, the reform movement being talked about is the Arya Samaj. So Pranav moves ahead to 25 points actually now. So well done, Pranav. Next, we have a question from or for Jayanth, who's yet to open his account. Let's see if he can start off with his points in this question. Let's move ahead to question number two for Jayanth. Your question is: through the first postage stamp in India, known as Sinde Doc, came out in 1852. It took more than a century for wildlife to feature in the stamp. The honor went to which animal in 1962? Question for Jayanth.
I'm going to hunch and saying the the Royal Sundarban Tiger Red one. I'm not entirely
Royal
sure.
Bengal Tiger is your
Yeah.
answer. Jayanth, it is not the Royal Bengal Tiger. Question passes to Dhanvi. Dhanvi, what's your answer?
Sir, is it the rhino?
Yes, it is the rhino, the one-horned rhinoceros to be more specific, but rhino was all I was looking for. Rhino was indeed the first animal to feature in the postage stamp in India. So well done, Dhanvi. You get 10 points, and the next direct question comes to you. Your question is: the stable sport originated in Jabalpur amongst the British Armed Forces. The name was given by Colonel Neville Chamberlain and comes from a slang term for a first year cadet. The first official set of rules for the sport were drafted in 1882 at Ooty. Which sport is this? Question for Gandhi.
Sir, is it billiards?
Can't do it for billiards. Moving on to Bharat.
Sir, snooker.
Yes, it is snooker. Absolutely correct. 10 points for you, Bharat. It is not billiards, but snooker. Well done, Bharat. You get 10 points. And the next question comes directly to you. Question number 4. This 3,000-year-old martial art is said to trace its origins to Parashurama, and its name is derived from two words, one meaning threshing floor and the other meaning to exercise in arms or practice. Which is this martial art? Question for Bharat.
Sir, is it karate?
Not karate. Moving on to Ajish.
Sir, it is Silambam.
Not silambam. Moving on to Pratik. Pratik, need an answer now.
I'm not sure. Pass.
Passing. Okay, moving on to Pranav.
Sir, is this Kalari Payetu?
Is it Kalari? Are you sure or just guess?
I mean, it's kind of sir is Parashuram is like kind of a warrior sage, and like Kalari Payetu is like kind of a fighting martial art as well. Like the other thing which I would have gone for is Silambam, but Silambam is since I'm going for Kalari Payetu.
That's good quizzing. Absolutely correct, Pranav. 10 points to you. It is indeed Kalari Paitu from Kerala. Well done. So 10 more points to Pranav. Next, we'll have a direct question for Ajish. Ajish, your question coming up on screen now. To save the Devas from the might of the demons Shumbha and Nishumbha, goddess Parvati took the form Mahagauri. Incited into a battle by the goddess, Shumbha and Nishumbha first sent a large army, but on being defeated, they sent two demons whom also the goddess defeated. Thus, what was the goddess named? Question for Ajish.
Sir, Lord Durga.
Not Durga. Passing on to Pratik.
Nishunga Siddhi.
Nishumbha, no, that's not the correct answer. Moving on once more to Pranav.
Sir, I'll go with Mardini.
That's the wrong answer. I'm sorry. Moving on to Jayanth.
Pass.
Passing. Okay. Dhanvi.
Sir, Chandrika?
Not Chandrika. Good try. Moving on to Bharat.
Sir, Kali.
Not Kali. The two demons were Chanda and Munda. And so the answer becomes Chamunda or Chamundeshwari will also be accepted. So no one gets points for this one. We'll move on to the last question of this round. And the question is a direct one for Pratik. Pratik, your question. The bricks used to build this building were brought from Burma, now of course known as Myanmar. The building had 7 wings with a central tower. The wings poked out of the tower in straight lines, much like the spokes of a bicycle wheel. A large bell was kept in the tower to raise an alarm in any eventuality. What nickname did this building have, which evoked the deep seas and a sense of exile? I need the nickname. I don't need the actual name of the building. I need the nickname. That
Is it
Yes,
Black Sea?
Black Sea is what you're going for.
Yeah.
Okay, Black Sea, I will accept it because of course it was called Kala Pani. So I'll accept it, Pratik. So well done. And what's the actual building?
Andaman and Nicobar Islands, the central jail.
Yes, the cellular jail or the central jail at the Andaman Nicobar Islands, Kalapani is absolutely correct. So well done, Pratik. You get 10 points. With that, we come to the end of round number 2, and we'll move to Kunal for a quick look at the scores.
After 2 rounds of grueling quiz today at the Chennai Cluster, we have the scores. Pranav is currently leading with 35 points. Pratik is second with 20 points. And then we have Bharat on third with 15 points. Dhanvi and Ajish both on 10 points. Jayanth yet to open his account, but a lot more rounds and a lot more points to be scored here in the Chennai Cluster of Cycle Heritage Quiz 2021. So best of luck to all the participants.
So it's Pranav leading the way with 35 points, but it's close battle for second place. And let me remind you that two of you will qualify for the national quarterfinals from the cluster finals. So the top two places are at stake. All right, so the third round is called Trishanku, and let's have a look at the rules. So one question per participant. This time it does not pass. 3 clues leading to something or someone. Plus 15 for getting it in the first attempt, plus 10 for second attempt, and plus 5 for the third attempt. And this time we'll start off with Pratik. Pratik, you are on 20 points right now, and your question is coming up on screen now. Here's your first clue. So, founded in 1889, the logo shows an oarsman sitting on a boat. Yes, Pratik.
Uh, Really not sure.
Okay, let's move on to the next clue for Pratik. They are most notable for their victory over East Yorkshire Regiment in the 1911 IFA Shield final.
Is it the West Yorkshire cricket team?
Not West Yorkshire cricket team. We'll move on to your last clue for 5 points. This club contests the Kolkata Derby with long-time local rivals SC East Bengal. Should be easy now, Pratik.
Yeah, ATK Mohan Bagan.
Yes, Mohan Bagan or ATK Mohan Bagan is absolutely correct. So Pratik gets 5 points in this round. We'll move on to our next participant, who is Ajish. Ajish, your first clue coming up on your screen now. Ajish, your first clue. In 1936, he became the first president of the Indian Progressive Writers Association. Yes, Ajish.
Sir, I need the second clue, sir.
Okay, you'll move on to the second clue. Let's move on to the second clue. His uncle, a rich landowner, nicknamed him Nawab, under which he wrote his first novel, Seva Sadan. Ajish.
Ram Mohan Roy, sir.
Not Ram Mohan Roy. Let's move on to your last clue for 5 points. His real name was Hanpat Rai Srivastava. This is for Ajish.
Sir, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel.
Not Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Ajish. The answer, anybody else wants to guess?
Premchand?
Munshi Premchand.
Yes, it is indeed Munshi Premchand. So the answer to this was Munshi Premchand, also nicknamed Nawab. So no points for you, Ajish. Moving on to our third question, which is for Bharat. Bharat, your first clue coming up on your screen now. His territory included modern-day Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Sri Lanka, and parts of Andhra Pradesh and Odisha.
Sir, next clue.
Next clue. Okay, let's move on to the next clue. Bharat. Although known for the building of another famous temple, he also built Tiruvalisvaram temple at Brahmadesam in Tamil Nadu, Uttara Kailash at Tiruvadi, Vaidyanath temple at Tirumalawadi, Tamil Nadu.
Sir, Raja Chola.
So yes, Raja Raja Chola is indeed the correct answer. Now we'll move on to the next question, which is for Dhanvi. Dhanvi, your first clue coming up on your screen now. He was a Vasu in his previous birth, and Vashishta had predicted that he would be a Mahatma and there would be no one like him on earth.
Sir, is it Lord Rama?
Not Lord Rama. Moving on to your next clue. He was engaged in a battle with Parashurama, which lasted for 23 days. Yes, Dhanvi, need an answer.
Sir, is it Arjuna, sir?
Not Arjuna. Moving on to your final clue. Let's see if you can get 5 points. Your final clue coming up on your screen now. His father Shantanu blessed him with the power of Ichha Mrityu, the power to die only when he wished to die.
Sir,
Yes,
Bhishma,
Dhanvi.
sir.
Yes, it is indeed Bhishma. 5 points for you. This is Bhishma, of course, who was engaged in a battle with Parashurama for 23 days, and he was a Basu. So, in fact, all the brothers of Bhishma who were born to Ganga and Shantanu were also Basus, and they had done something wrong because of which they were given the curse, and Ganga, to relieve them of their curse, actually, drowned them. So, but of course, in the case of Bhishma, Shantanu stopped Ganga, and then, of course, we know the story of the Mahabharata. So, Dhanvi, you get 5 points. We'll move on to our next question. This is for Jayanth. Jayanth, your first clue coming up on your screen now. She formally trained under Pannalur Meenakshi Sundaram Pillai and gave her first public performance at the Theosophical Society in 1935.
I'm gonna go for MS Subbulakshmi.
Not MS Subbulakshmi. Moving on to your next clue. She founded the famous Kalakshetra Foundation in Chennai. This is for Jayan. Yes, Jayan, need an answer.
Next clue.
Next clue. Okay, let's move on to the last clue. A Sangeet Natak Academy winner in 1957. She is known for the renaissance of the Bharatanatyam dance form in India. Yes, Jan, need an answer.
I'm racking my brain for the name, but I can't think of it right now.
Okay, so Jan, unfortunately, no points for you in this round. Anybody else wants to guess what's the answer?
Sir, Rukmini Devi Arundel.
Yes, think of Bharatanatyam, think of Rukmini Devi Arundel, absolutely correct. So no points for Jen. And we'll move on to the last question of this round, and that is for Pranav. Your question coming up on your screen now. Firstly, he earned a master's degree at Presidency College, University of Madras, and also became an accountant in the finance department of the Indian government.
Next clue.
Okay, let's move on to the next clue for you, Pranav. In 1933, he moved to the Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, as head of the Department of Physics.
Sir, C.V. Raman.
Sir C.V. Raman, of course, that was an easy second clue. So 10 points for you, Pranav. With that, we come to the end of round number 3. And before we move on to the last round, we'll take a look at the scores.
After 3 rounds of quizzing in the Chennai Cluster round, here are the scores. Currently, still leading this quiz with 45 points is Pranav. Then we have 2 students tied on 25 points, and they are Bharat and Pratik. After that, we have Dhanvi on 15 points and Ajish on 10 points. Jayanth yet to open his account, but one more round to go and still a lot more points at stake. So after one more round, we will get to know who are the students that qualifies for the quarterfinal round of the Cycle Heritage Quiz 2021
Right, so it's very close for second spot. We have two students tied for second spot. As we know, two qualifiers will come from this cluster final for the national quarterfinals. Our fourth round is called Divya Drishti, and let's take a look at the rules. So, one direct question per participant, all based on visuals. Questions will pass anti-clockwise, and you get plus 10 for every correct answer, whether on direct or on pass. All right, so we will move on to our first participant for this round, who is Prateek. Prateek, your visual coming up on screen now. So, Prateek, your question
Yes,
is,
sir.
this famous building was initially built as a facility to store what? This famous building was initially built as a facility to store what? This is for Prateek.
Is it ice?
Is it ice? And what building is this?
I'm not really sure.
So, Prateek, you guessed ice, and this is the Vivekananda Elam in Chennai. But ice or ice house is all I wanted. So, 10 points for you, Prateek. Well done. Next question goes to Ajish. Ajish, your visual coming up on your screen now. Ajish, your question. This is a close up of which famous structure in South India? Ajish, your question.
Sir, Arabindo Ashram, sir.
Aurobindo Ashram, can't accept Aurobindo Ashram. Question for Bharat.
Sir, pass.
Passing question for Dhanvi now.
The passer.
Passing, okay. Jayanth.
A pass.
Jayanth also passing. Moving on to Pranav.
So this is the Matri Mandir.
Yes, it is indeed the Matri Mandir, Pranav. 10 points to you. Ajish, I'm sorry, can't accept Aurobindo Ashram. We needed Matri Mandir, so 10 points for you, Pranav. Matri Mandir at Auroville is indeed the correct answer. The third question is for Bharat, who is of course still in the running for second spot. Bharat,
Yes, sir.
your visual coming up on your screen now. You take a look at this visual and tell me who eventually led this team in their first ever test match. Who led this team in their first ever test match? This is for Bharat.
Sir, K. Srikanth.
Not K. Srikanth. Passing on to Dhanvi.
Sir, Kapil Dev.
Not Kapil Dev. Moving on to Jayan.
I'm not
Yes,
sure.
Jayan.
Pass.
Passing. Moving on to Pranav.
I'm gonna pass this one.
Okay, Pranav passing as well. Moving on to Prateek.
Muhammad Azharuddin.
Not Muhammad Azharuddin. Moving on to our last participant, Ajish.
Sir, pass.
Passing, this was a tough one. This is, of course, the first ever Indian cricket team to play Test cricket. And at the Cycle Heritage Quiz, we deal with sporting heritage as well. And the captain of this team was C.K. Naidu. So, who was India's first ever Test captain. And India played their first Test match in 1932 at Lords. And an interesting fact for all of you, the first Test match started on 25th June 1932. India won their first ever World Cup on 25th June 1983. So, interesting fact for all of you. And moving on to our question for Gandhi, the fourth question of this round. This statue is the focal point for the celebrations of what occasion in a particular city?
Sir, May 1st, sir.
May 1st, Bharti
Workers' Day.
answers. And what is this statue called?
In Tamil, do you want it in Tamil, sir?
Tamil or English? Whatever you want.
Udaipalar Silai.
Okay, absolutely correct, Bangi. This is the Triumph of Labor statue, which is the focal point for May Day celebrations in Chennai. So, well done, Bangi. You get 10 points. And now we move on to question number 5 for Jayanth. Jayanth, your question coming up on your screen now. So, Jayanth, your question is: a famous person's statue has been shown. Which airport is named after him? Which city's airport is named after the famous person whose statue you see here? Yes, Jayanth, need an answer.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Chennai. I'm not entirely sure.
Not Chennai. Moving on to Pranav.
So this is sport player.
And who's the person on screen?
Savarkar, V.D. Savarkar.
This is Veer Savarkar, and of course, Veer Savarkar Airport is the airport which serves Port Blair. Another superb answer from Pranav. 10 points to you, and we are going to end the quiz with a question for you, Pranav, a direct question for you. Your visual coming up on screen now. Okay, so what famous incident in mythology has been shown in this visual? That's the question for Pranav, and I need you to give me some details.
So this is like Arjuna had done penance, and like by doing that penance, he wanted the Pashupata Astra, and then Shiva, after lots of intense penance, Shiva came and gave it to him. The giving of
So
Pashupata.
Arjuna did penance for the Pashupatastra, and Shiva gave the Pashupatastra to Arjuna. This visual basically shows Shiva handing over the Pashupatastra to Arjuna. Absolutely correct, Pranav. Well done. You end the quiz with 10 points. And with that, we come to the end of the Chennai Cluster Final of Cycle Heritage Quiz 2021. All right, so we'll take one final look at the scores. Request all the participants to be on screen, please. Bharat, please be on screen.
All right, after fantastic questions and a set of fantastic answers that we received from all the participants here are the final scores of the Chennai cluster. Jayanth has not been able to open the account in this round, but of course, he has many more quizzes to come and many more rounds to play at on Indian heritage and other topics, and I'm sure he would do pretty well among 30,000, close to 30,000 students all across India. This is the Chennai cluster, and he has been in the top 6 in the Chennai cluster. So good luck to you, Jayanth. Then we have Ajish on 20 points. Then we had Dhanvi and Bharat, who answered really good questions around 25 points each. But going into the quarterfinals of the Cycle Heritage Quiz 2021 is Prateek, who has come second on the Chennai cluster with 35 points, and Pranab, who has always been in the lead and answered some really great questions, is on 75 points, a stunning lead and a fantastic entry into the quarterfinal. So best of luck, everyone. It was great to have you with us, and thank you so much for being a part of Cycle Heritage Quiz.
So congratulations from all of us at CHQ to Prateek from PSBB KK Nagar and to Pranav from PSBB Nungambakkam for qualifying for our national quarterfinals. A big thank you and very well done to all the other participants as well who answered some really tough questions. Dhanvi, Bharat, Ajish, Jayanth, very well done. And as Kunal said, you are qualified from among 30,000 students all over India. So it's a brilliant achievement to reach this far. Hope you all enjoyed this cluster final of the Cycle Heritage Quiz 2021. We'll come back to you soon with our next cluster final. Thank you very much.